Hello everybody, and today we're going to talk about trauma. We'll understand what is the significance of trauma. We'll learn from the basics what is actually trauma. So, let's understand it. So, trauma basically means if you suppose uh, you think of a scenario such as maybe when you're a child. When you're a young child, you are like a sponge. You absorb so many things around you the first probably 7 years of your life, and you absorb everything very deeply, and those things get instilled inside of you when you are young, and that basically forms the foundation for you to live the rest of your life. So many of you might have had experiences which were not so pleasant in your childhood or maybe recently. So maybe it was a teacher who scolded you too badly, or maybe it was a dog who attacked you, maybe it was a heartbreak, maybe it was failure, or something related to that, something which you associate with negative experiences. So, what happens? Our brain works in a way that whenever it senses something too bad, unusually too bad, happening with you, it remembers it. And the next time, if you develop a PTSD, now we have to understand this is that not everybody who suffers or goes through a traumatic experience develop PTSD. Some people are more prone to PTSD, some people are less prone to PTSD, and the intensity and the effect of the PTSD that is developed inside of you, that might also vary from individual to individual. But in general, we are we're considering neurodivergent people. So we're going to keep our topic restricted to that. So the problem that causes is that your mind, whenever you come back to do these things again, to do, and your brain might not work as how you like it to work. If I give you an example, military people or soldiers who go to fight the wars, what happens is they develop trauma because definitely they sometimes lose their colleague soldiers or whatever, and they develop traumas. What happens years after if they hear gunshots, if they are in a battle or something like that, they're in the middle of a gunfight, somehow they happen to, not everybody, but some people might freeze. Some people might freeze. It's not that they are covered or they're not brave enough. What happens, it definitely activates the adrenaline part of your brain. So basically, they suddenly experience feelings of fear, or their efficiency often drops in whatever the work they're doing, and they're not being able to do the work properly. So this is why, and this is here, the problem exists. But the thing is, sometimes if you're born with ADHD or any similar neurodivergent issues, you might be finding yourself to be hypersensitive to even the normal things that happen around you. Maybe a teacher scolds you, okay, basically. So, in most cases, even if you understand that the scolding is not too bad for you, your mind being hypersensitive, having a highly overactive amygdala, having a highly overactive default mode network, might consider it as a threat, and that might develop a PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. So, if you have a hyperactive amygdala, which is definitely much determined by your genetics and it is by birth determined, you're oversensitive to threats. So, even normal day to day lives, things that happen, they might act as a threat to you. So, what will happen? Because of this day to day life experiences that normally happen, these repeated negative experiences will accumulate in the memory of your brain, and you will have issues in your day to day life that will cause an emotional overload, definitely. If we talk about the default mode network part of the brain, now this part of the brain comes when you are at rest. So, as far as I understand, as a learner, I can tell you if you are somebody who is at rest, the traumatic experience has already happened. You are now at your home after school or after something at your home, lying on the bed, and suddenly your mind is flooded with all the negative emotions, anger due to that experiences, sorrow, or whatever the negative emotion is. You feel a strong energy inside of yourself. You cannot sit still. You cannot stay still. You cannot sleep at night. And this is due to your highly developed default mode network, highly oversensitive. Additionally, chronic stress from trauma can also weaken the prefrontal cortex part of your brain as well, which might cause you to make decisions and it will be very difficult for you to make simple decisions in life. You will not be as efficient as is. So chronic stress from trauma is also damage, cause damage to your prefrontal cortex. Now, especially in a country like India, where there is less general awareness about mental health issues and especially even trauma. So, if your experience is something like this, 90% to 95% to 99% of people might not understand what you're facing, might not feel what you're going through. So, you will not relate with anybody. And when you will not be able to relate with anybody, you will try to mask it. You will not be open to freely talk about it. You will try to mask it. And masking it will make it more difficult for you. But in general cases, it makes sense to mask it due to the social stigma. Furthermore, we can talk about the next point, which is the amygdala part of the brain and the anterior cingulate cortex part of the brain. These two store memories which are painful for you. So maybe it is a failure, maybe it is a rejection, maybe it's a heartbreak. But what happens is people often develop, especially neurodivergent people, they develop rejection sensitive dysmorphia. This is very common and often seen as a extra symptom in ADHD, and its short form is RSD. And what it means is basically if somebody rejects you, even if you ask your father to go, if you want to eat ice cream, you ask your father, "Can I get an ice cream?" He might say no. Although it is, even if you're grown up, you're 16, 18, 17, 18, 19, 20 years of age, that might feel like a hard no for you. You might feel a bit bad because of it. Okay. Now, the things which are actually painful, like a heartbreak. All right. Now, these things can feel so bad and it might make you feel so down that it might happen that you might not be able to sleep for a week or months. It might make your life more miserable. Well, I think I have covered some basic points about it. I'm myself struggling with mental health issues, depression, and many other issues myself. And I'm trying my best to create content as much as I can. And I look forward to creating more valuable content. I'm not going for perfection. I'm trying to be consistent, although I know I have not uploaded a video yesterday. And it's 1:30 a.m., midnight, and I'm tired, but my brain is not efficient. I'm sleepy, but I think that it is better to just make a video. It doesn't really matter because not many people are going to watch it. But I think if I'm consistent about it, I will be able to do it. I do it as a passion. I will be consistent with it. I promise. So maybe my content is not that good right now, but I'm pretty sure I will be able to organize this pretty well in the future. And I will be able to make quality and better content with consistency. So yeah, I will keep it up this here. Thank you for watching. Good night.